are insane right now in the world of Magic the Gathering. I've never seen anything like it. Magic players are revolting. A revolution! I mean, specifically Commander players. They are going absolutely berserk, insisting that the Commander format be thrown away in favor of something that goes by the name of Captain. Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. I hope you are having a good Sunday. Things are wild out in the world. I am, as always, I am the Walking Dead Commander Historian. That's all we've been talking about here, so I may as well just embrace it. That's the new name of the channel going forwards. I don't know what we're going to do about a logo. It's a little bit dicey, but at least over on my other channel, the lore channel, we can leave things normal over there. Speaking of which, brand new lore video dropping today. There will be a premiere of that video at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and I'll be there in the premiere chatting away. So if you want to come by and check it out, amazing part of the story. So come on by and get some old school Magic lore. Now, we're here to talk about what's going on with Commander players and Captain. Now, I'm not going to go over absolutely everything in depth, because in all honesty, if you want to know about what's going on with the Walking Dead secret lair, the outrage that it's caused, what the Commander Committee did, all of that, I have a series of videos. All the last number of videos on the channel have been covering this crazy scenario, because as the Magic historian, I also record history as it's unfolding. We all get to experience it together. And honestly, this is crazy. What's going on is like kind of what I predicted, but accelerated. If you watched the video that I made a few days ago, I talked about how the Commander Committee was in a really tight spot, where if they banned the Walking Dead secret lair, Wizards of the Coast will effectively end them. And if they don't ban it, then they would lose the trust of the Commander community, right? And I had a bunch of people tell me, no, dude, you're way off base. Like, this is not how it would go. You don't know what you're talking about. But it turns out my prediction was way more right than I thought it would be overall in terms of how fast this has happened. Because after the Commander Rules Committee decided they weren't going to ban The Walking Dead, like, basically all hell broke loose. Everybody started gnashing their teeth and wailing to the heavens. Like, it has been pandemonium. And as a result, there have been calls by members of the Commander community to replace Commander with Captain. All right, now where did this all come from? Because if you're like me, you, or at least how I was, you have no idea what Captain is. I just started, because I'm talking so much about this, a bunch of people will come to my videos and talk about everything that's going on, right? And no one person can keep on top of every different aspect. But because all these different people are coming in and saying different things, it gives me like kind of a wider picture. Now, over and over, Captain kept getting said in the comments of my video, and I was genuinely baffled. I was just like, Captain? What is that? I'm like, I didn't say anything about Captain in my video. What are people talking about, right? So I sorted it out and figured out that all of this Captain talk was actually originating from one specific location. If you're wondering where this came from, it comes from the YouTube channel Commander's Quarters. Now, I honestly am not very familiar with the channel because I don't really play Commander. As far as I understand, it's like top shelf Commander YouTube channel level, right? He might theoretically have the best YouTube Commander channel. I don't know. I've only watched like one of his videos, really, and that was the one about Captain, so that I would understand what everybody's talking about and what's going on. And on a side note, I will say, Buddy who runs Commander Quarters, his name is Mitch, if I understand correctly. Buddy has some nice production values. His videos, looked great. Looked great, and he had little props for little characters and stuff. I dug that. Now, overall, the video, actually, you know what? Let's talk specifically about what Captain is before we talk about what the video is, all right? So, basically, Captain is almost identical to Commander. Almost every rule is exactly the same as Commander, except you call your Commander a Captain. You can't use a Planeswalker as your Captain Commander, and box sets, cards specifically from sets like the Secret Layers that are functionally unique, the Walking Dead Secret Layers, those are banned in this format. That's the entirety of the Captain format. Now, there's a lot of people crying out for this, saying, I want this Captain format. We need to make Captain a thing. But the question becomes, will it be a thing? Because this, like, the difference between Commander and Captain is Commander is something that grew organically. People, like, you know, just played it communally, and Wizards kind of half adopted it, and now it's obviously leaning more heavily into it. But fan-made formats mostly fail. With the exception of Commander and Cube, pretty much every fan-made format is a bust. It may have a little bit of life at first. You know, there was like tiny leaders and all these other sort of things. Think about how like Brawl splashed in paper for a second and then went away. I mean, it's on Arena now, so Brawl's still around, but it can only exist because it exists in a space where Commander can't, and it's the closest thing to Commander, so it's not really like a fair comparison. But it's fair to say the majority of fan formats absolutely crumble. Now, is this a brand new fan format? No, let's be real. Captain is just it's Commander with a different rule set, right? You know, it's just like some people don't like the changes that were made from when it was originally EDH to Commander, as far as I understand. I don't know what those changes are, but there might have been some tweaks, and some people are like, no, I only play EDH. But this Captain thing, honestly, is mostly, I should say, an emotional, like, knee-jerk reaction to what's going on. Now, that's not to say that what Wizards is doing isn't totally skeezy, because let's be real. Releasing cards that are functionally unique in something that's only available for a week and is specifically targeted to like get its way into Commander, that's ridiculous. Like the way that they try and present it, where they go, well, you know, like, we know you're upset about functionally unique buy box promos, but these are different because the functional, they literally said that the buy box promos are limited, right? There's a limited amount of those, but these things are like print to order or whatever. Yeah, for a week. They're just as equally limited. Who are you fooling? Well, anybody can get them. Yeah, inside of 1 week in all of existence. Like, it's this weird little dance that they're doing where they're trying to pretend that they're not obviously doing what they're doing. Like, they're fully aware of what they're doing. And what they're doing is underhanded, right? But unfortunately, an emotional knee-jerk reaction won't actually, like, birth a format. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Mitch over at Commander Quarters, really emotional about this. And I understand getting really emotional about Magic. I had my most emotional moments years ago, where it was way over the top. Once you get too emotional, people don't hear you, they hear the emotion, right? So they get that you're sad, they want to console you, they get that you're worked up into a fervor, whatever it is, they understand that. But it doesn't go beyond that. It's not about solving the issue. It's about solving your emotions at that point. And that's something it took me a while to grasp as well when it comes to trying to communicate information. When you're trying to communicate something with people, you want just enough emotion that they can pick up on the general emotion you're looking for, but not so much that it overrides everything that's going on. It's part of what makes the boss monster character less effective as an information vector. From a purely spectacle standpoint, sure, go for big air, screaming and yelling and whatever, but that doesn't effectively convey information, and it doesn't galvanize people towards your goal. It just galvanizes them towards trying to help you feel emotionally better. And that can be done by just going around and chanting, we need this, we need this, we need this. Now, what the captain format for me, the thing is how's that supposed to work? How are you feasibly supposed to replace Commander with Captain? Right? Like, if you're playing with such minor tweaks where it's basically, you can't use these cards and you can't use this, isn't that rule 0? Isn't Captain really just saying rule 0? Especially since the fact that the way it was presented forwards, like, the thing is about the video that he made originally, like, I don't genuinely know for sure what the intention behind the Captain video was. I know part of it was clearly to vent frustration, and by all means, do it. Wizards deserves to get the feedback saying, don't do this. Stop doing this. We don't want this. This is not okay. So give that information. That's cool. Him making that kind of a video is all right. So for the first half of it, he talks about Captain, like it's an advertisement. And then at a certain point, because he knows how people are on the internet, good for him, because this is a lesson you need to learn as well. People need things very clearly spelled out for them. So he says, essentially, is this like a real format? I don't know. That's up to you guys. And I'm paraphrasing here, so I may not get the exact wording. But he said it's not really appropriate for him to be in charge of the format because of the financial incentives or whatever. Basically, I guess insider trading, whatever it is. Some sort of like financial coerciveness or something like that that would be factored in where it could make him appear to be corrupt or be tempted to be corrupt and make changes to the format based on his own monetary gains, if you understand what I'm trying to say, which is a nice and ethical standpoint to take, saying, you know what, I have reach, I have influence, I don't want to be in a position where I take advantage of that, which is cool from a moral perspective. From a format perspective, that's really bad, in my opinion. All right, I'm going to lay down what I think about it. Could Captain theoretically work? Maybe, but it feels like ultimately it's going to lead to the same problems, right? Like you try and establish this Captain format. First of all, you need leadership for the format. Let's be real, right? You have to have leadership. There's a reason the Commander's Rule Committee existed in the first place, right? You can't trust everybody to play nice. And by play nice, I mean play within the fun spirit of the format. Out of any group of people, if most of them are like, yo, I just want to play a chill time, we're going to take forever and just kind of mess around, and it doesn't really matter who wins, it's more of like the overall experience playing, enjoying Magic, and just chilling together. Then you'll have the one guy who's like, I built a deck that wins on turn 2, and just insists on winning on turn 2 and ending the entire experience, voiding the experience, not even understanding what it is, and going, no, this is within the rules. If it's not against the rules, then it's allowed, so I can do it, you know? So that's how it's gonna go. You need somebody to make the decisions on what is unhealthy for a format. And for that, you have to have leadership. That's unavoidable. You can't have structure without somebody to overlook that structure. That's not how it works. Nothing in society functions that way. You have to have somebody taking stewardship of this. And the same cries are going to come up. Let's say Captain becomes a thing. And then you have a Captain Rule Committee. They call it something different, so you don't think it's the same thing, but that's what it would have to be, right? And then they would start to ban cards that needed to be banned. And then players would turn around and go, they're corrupt. I know they're corrupt. That's why they banned this card. They're only banning cards that they hate personally. Like the exact same sort of complaints that would be leveled against the Rules Committee would be leveled against the Committee for Captain. And you can't have a format where you just toss it out and go, wouldn't this be a nice idea? And then just walk away. It doesn't work that way. As cool as it is for Mitch to throw it out as an idea, without him being willing to step up and lead it, I mean, setting up a Discord and giving everyone a place to go, yeah, Captain, I'm going to be real with you guys. I feel like Captain is going to be talked about for about a week, maybe. You know what I mean? How many people even have heard of Captain at this point, right? I know I exist in a hyper bubble. And that by that I mean, like, I am one of the people who's really in tune with what's going on with Magic the Gathering, because I do Magic news videos. I'm talking about the current state of Magic constantly. I play Magic every day. I look at information about Magic every single day. So I know about Captain, but most players won't. And the type of momentum it would take to make another format that's essentially the same thing. Like, you have to understand that trying to pitch the Captain format to people who are just not like as entrenched as you are, it's going to be an uphill battle, to say the least, if not completely pointless. The majority of Magic players who are Commander players, would probably go like this. And it would be like, hey, did you hear about Captain? Oh, hey, I didn't. What's Captain? And it's like, oh, Captain is this, it's this new format. It's kind of like Commander. And it's just like, what's the difference? It's like Commander, except you can't use Planeswalkers as your Commander, and you can't use the Walking Dead secret layer. It's like, what? Yeah, that's it. It's like, why don't we just play Commander, bro? What if somebody wants to use those cards? I'm not gonna, like, I play Commander, man. Like, it's all good. Hell, I still call it EDH. I don't need this. You know what I mean? Like, the captain format is great to sell from an emotional standpoint, where everybody's emotions are running high, and they're like, ha! But it's not going to last, because it's not sustainable. The format has no leadership. It has no real point other than to be unhappy about The Walking Dead. That's not enough. Spite cannot sustain a format. It's not possible. The concept is interesting. That's why this is so fascinating. Because I thought that the rules committee was going to lose people's respect from this, and over time it would be an aggregate sort of function where you'd end up with, now we've reached the point where people have just said, okay, we don't want anything to do with the rules committee. We're gonna do Commander. They're gonna say their thing, but we're not even paying attention anymore. We'll deal with our own problems here, but overall, who cares what they have to say? Like, they don't have our back, or we'll let them make the official banned list, but we don't actually trust them or care about them. You know what I mean? That's more what I expected. I did not expect an immediate splinter function, but that also was a result specifically, obviously, of the influence of the dude over at Commander Quarters. So kudos to him for having that level of reach, man, because you came up with a concept, and your concept hit my channel all over to the point where now I'm talking about it, right? So that's impressive right there. The fact that it's on anybody's lips is one thing, but I'll be real as well, guys. I went out to an LGS today where I knew there was going to be people playing Commander, just for a feeling of people on the ground, level of involvement with Magic, like, you come in, you play Commander on the weekend, what's your vibe on this? Majority of them that I spoke to didn't know about The Walking Dead. But as soon as they did, they started looking them up on their phones. And there wasn't like a, oh my God, I hate this. There was not that reaction at all. So I'm thinking that the online reaction is pretty strong. And again, let me reiterate, I know that right now I am giving a fairly bleak forecast for this new format, but I think I'm being fair, for real. You know what I mean? Like, Wizards of the Coast is doing something skeezy to get to Commander players, but it's going to work because ultimately it's probably just going to appeal to a majority of Commander. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that you're unhappy. Wizards is going to get the money, and they're going to keep doing this. And the way this is being defended online by people who work for Wizards of the Coast, like, it's very clear that this is going to be an ongoing process. And so Captain, to me, is going just to be like a byword to remember the time where The Walking Dead hit the scene. But I don't see the format having the ability to sustain itself. That doesn't mean I don't want it to, though. If for some reason you could make that happen, make the format go and grow, great, do it. The more ways to play Magic, the better, right? You're going to find what gels with you the best and enjoy yourself. And remember, my friends, remember, all of us in this hyper bubble, things can seem really, really big, but just imagine trying to explain what you're upset about to anybody who didn't play Magic the Gathering. Just imagine trying to explain that this game that you play made a little box set that has characters from The Walking Dead in it, and that you're livid about it. Like, if you think about it from that perspective, you realize the absurdity of it. So being frustrated, yep. Expressing that frustration, yep. Letting it genuinely impact your life and existence and like how you're going through your day, that is not healthy, my friends, okay? So I'm all for a better game, and part of a better game is everybody being all right up in the head. So let's not get too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep things relatively chill. And in that vein, I would like to say thanks for coming by, all right? I'm having a great time doing what I'm doing. If you like what I'm doing here, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to shift myself over to the side of the screen so I can actually put up a link to the brand new lore video that's dropping today. I invite you, come hang out with me, enjoy some old school Magic lore. You will be very pleased with the results. So I'll see you there, my friends.